Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and yes, I have finally got around to making another Adronis video. And so again, this is a form of insight of channeling that Adronis is going to come through, and he has shared some of this understanding in the new book that's going to be coming out in Japan. And what this video is going to entail with Adronis is the ancient races. So I will be bringing in Adronis, and he will share more insight relating to the ancient races. Here we go. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, and we send love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We have been asked by the conduit to share insight as it relates to the idea of the ancient races. Now, we have talked about, in various ways, about the nature of humanity, and that humanity itself represents that of gods in training, and that you have this indeed sacred world, known as Earth or Gaia or Terra or Sophia, and that she represents the womb of the gods, therefore representing that of humanity being that of the god race. But if we were to look back, in looking at your linear time perspective, going back into ancient times, and we look at other races, and the question may be, well, Adronis, aren't these races also a part of God themselves? The answer is yes. But you would have to understand that looking into these ancient races, to what you would know as the ancient human, to what you would know as the ancient reptilian, the ancient avian, the ancient aquatics, the ancient mammalians, the ancient insectoids, that these all represent races of different types brought in from other universes converging into this one, which means the other universes that they have come from, those other particular forms of ancient races may or may not have been there. So what you are basically witnessing here is the idea of many of these different ancient races that have come from other universes and have basically converged themselves here through contractual agreement to coexist with each other, because they all represent the brands. They all represent the flavors. They all represent the vibrational frequency of what makes this universe so. Now, we are not talking about all of those particular races being the only races within this universe. No, there are certainly many others. But the races that we have just termed relate to the ones that you have, shall we say, the greatest rapport and relationship with. For there are indeed others, but others you have yet to meet. These ones, relating again to the ancient human, the ancient reptilian, the ancient avian, the ancient aquatic, the ancient mammalian, the ancient insectoid. These are your predecessors. They are the ones that contain, shall we say, much of the essence within your own DNA together. They represent part of the 22 different genetic races that are contained within your genome. So when you look at these ancient races, yes, they too are part of God. But what has happened with many of these ancient races is that over time, there has been so much splicing of the genetic code and so much reversioning of their own bodies, of their own races, shall we say, primordial essence, that there has become a great deal of, shall we say, stagnancy within the genetic code itself. It has become much more diluted, and basically it has lost a great deal of its potency. So because it has been divided over and over and over again, mixing together with other particular forms of genetic templates, and therefore has worn itself thin. Therefore, the essence in regards to its original seed, therefore becomes, shall we say, weary. Therefore, the idea of being able to strengthen the seed of the genetic property pertaining to much of the sentient life within this universe came with the intention of creating and contributing to the idea of a brand new race. A race that God, that Spirit, that Source, that Creator, whichever you wish to term it, would therefore imprint its own essence into, to creating their children, representing the contributors that are bringing forward their seeds and merging it together and having this brand new seed that has been refreshed by the Creator, that has been refreshed by Spirit, that has been refreshed by Mother, Father, God, etc. Therefore came that of the human race. For the race of humanity upon this earth was the rejuvenation factor to many millions and millions and millions of years, splicing different genetic codes, wearing the integrity down, creating the weariness as it pertains to their being disruption, dilution within the original material. So, in this new spark of life that came together with the contributing races to which we have mentioned, therefore came the human race. And therefore, again, many different versions of yourselves were created throughout the history of your planet, going back into what you would know as the ancient Neanderthal up to where you are right now as Homo sapien. 39 different versions. And so through those 39 different versions, you will soon be moving into the 40th. And the 40th will indeed be that of a fourth density compliant human. And that is happening now. And so now you have gone through the 39 trials as it relates to the idea of the completion of your genome in the new version that is now becoming the 40th. The ancient races that have been with you since time began are, yes, your family. They are genetically associated together with you. They are genetically related to you. The humans, the reptilians, the avians, the aquatics, the mammalians, the insectoids. Just to name these particular forms of pillars that represent the standing foundation of your race. This would indeed represent their energy. And so they watch over you because they have promised the Creator to do so. Yes, there have been those that have strayed their own way. Yes, there have been those in that sense that have wanted to have takeover. We are also talking about the Draco. The Draco themselves entered themselves into this contract. Even though they are all about dominion, much in regards to their empire, there are those in that sense that are not a part of their dominion, that honor the original agreement. That as soon as you start to tinker with humanity's genes, you are involved. And they were a race that was later on involved. Therefore, they hold karmic responsibility as well too. And there will come a point to where their karma itself shall be cleared. And again, there have been other forms of factions that exist within the six. And again, so there have been humans that represent factions that have represented, shall we say, disorder. The same goes for the mammalians, the same goes for the avians, the same goes for the aquatics. The same goes for all of the pillars, representing that of the base races. Humans, reptilians, mammalians, aquatics, avians, insectoids. So, therefore, what you are going through right now is the process of a transition Throughout the ancient times, you have been through this before, many of you. You have been a part of these base races. You have been part of different worlds, going back into Lyra, going back into Alpha Draconis, going back into Orion, going back into the Pleiades, going back into Sirius. All of these different worlds, these different stars, these different constellations, as you would say, all hold particular associations together with your genome. But again, you are here to, in your own way, reconcile with those of the contributors. And the contributors are here to reconcile together with you. This is why, again, you find quite commonly stories pertaining to the 6 base, or again, we will say, seed races. And that pertains to the idea of sightings or contacts or other particular forms of interactions between yourselves and the seed base races. So when you look at the idea of all of these different races that again are commonly discussed, you are indeed looking at your ancestors. As we stated, the Draco is one of them. And they have this association together. Why do you think the Draco have been allowed to be around your planet for so long? Because they hold a stake into the contributionism pertaining to humanity, but they have abused that contract. And because they have abused it for so long, it has now reached the point of a cyclic end. And that is why the Draco are now being expelled from the star system. Because they have abused the contract for a very, very long time. And now there has been enough agreement on a collective level for them to be ejected from this star system. And that is the process of what's happening right now. And so as you connect with the ancient races, and you now undergo the aspect of this ascension process, of moving yourself from a 3rd density reality to a 4th density reality, when you move into the next density, you will again be a part of an Earth that will look identical to this one. And again, you will move through a rainbow bridge, through a Stargate effect, upon the next world. Those of you who are elevated in alignment to its frequency, and it shall be rebuilt in the way of compassionate humans. As it goes back into your religious texts, the meek shall inherit the earth. And what these meek ones will do is they will exercise the law of compassion. And that law of compassion is, in many different religious contexts, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. That is the compassionate law, the law of compassion. And everybody, a part of this new sphere, will live by that creed. They will live in compassionate life. For the idea of moving into 4th density is the transitioning past all of the confining boundaries that have represented obstruction and oppression throughout yourselves. But again, this is something that you have all allowed. And over time, you will discover that you will connect a great deal more to your ancestors, to the seed races. And you will find out more about how you came to be. You will find out more about why you came to this planet. You will find out all of these understandings as you move deeper and deeper into working closer with Spirit, to working closer with God. That's where your expansion lies. It does not lie in the idea of your material world. It does not have answers for you. Those are all templates. And for those of you who are able to look past the templates and come into essence, you will discover more. It is not to say that your science is meant to be 100% discarded. No, it's to say that your science must be integrated together with Spirit for you to discover the greater depth of how existence works. because your materialistic science model is insufficient in being able to discover that. And so as you move deeper into fourth density, and you start to work together with each other, the heavens will be open to you. And throughout the heavens exists your family. Exists the 6 seed races. Exists other brethren. Other brothers and sisters of the stars. That again hold similar genetics to yourself. That bow in reverence to humanity because you are a royal race. Even if you don't think that you are. You are. Because you are the only race that has therefore had the blueprint of God, the blueprint of Creator, placed upon yourselves. To where your genetics are indeed the essence of the Creator. And again, this is why they have been sought after so much. Because there is no other race greater than humanity themselves. You are the universal model. You are the gods in training, and therefore at some particular point you will be gods realized. That is what shall hold itself together for you. As you meet your other family, as you meet your seed races, to which we, in that way also, represent a particular facet of these races, as we helped in contribution to your creation as well. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. I am Adronis of Sirius, and we will speak again at another time relating to more information and insight as it relates to the ancient races. We thank you very much. All right, fantastic. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.